And now we're working. Man, that took... Let's forget what it does. Interesting. Let's see here. Can delete all these and get mine to work. Be really helpful. Okay. Reactive tech. One second, fellas. Discord reactive images. Log in. Ah, I see. I got a little Discord problem. Give me a second. All right. Gotta get my thing working. Give me 1 second. There it is. Authenticator. Let's see. That number. That number. How you doing, chat? Oh. Really? There we go. Authorize. Let's see here. And I should be able to save that. Doot. Go to here. Pop that in. Close. It should work. Maybe. Pretty please. Paste. Enter. Close. No? Why is this suddenly not working? You want to drop kick your coworkers? Probably not for the best. Close. Well, come on, buddy. Work. You were just doing it. What is Brigador? I don't understand what that is. Hey, Blah, how you doing? Trying to get my damn avatar to work, and it's being a fucking pill about it. Give me 1 second here. Let's delete this then. So let's remove. Yes, remove. Add browser source. Doot. Make a new source. Add source. Put that in. Close. Will it work now? Absolutely not. Well, what in the fuck? Why is it not working? That's all weird now. Am I on the right thing here? What's my thing here? Oh, god damn it. Let's see. What's my settings? Every once in a while, this thing just loses its fucking mind. How do I turn off? Fuck me. It's been the first 2 minutes in boomer mode. Yay. Disable streamer mode. God damn it. Discord. 7614. Yeah, it's me. So why isn't it working? That try blowing air into the cartridge. Yeah, I tried that. Why in the hell is this not working? Why? I have the right thing. Browser source is right there. It's not popping up. Why not? Okay, let's try this one then. Close. Why is it not working? God damn it. Man. Okay, so let's log out. Log in. Authorize. The connection to Discord failed. Browser and app. App. The fuck is... What do you mean, app? Ugh. Well, this is going as smoothly as I thought it would. Good lord. So how do I add the app? What does that even mean, add the app? Good lord. Let's see. Oh, is that what it is? Hold on. Did I go in here? Let's see, down in the podcast. Ah, there I am. Very funny, Discord. Okay. Bastard. There I am, alright.
Thank you for flying Gorgon Airlines.
Hey, Edelson, how you doing? Alright, so now it's working. There we go. I am here, finally. Okay, so, unfortunately, I couldn't find anyone to have a chat about ghost hunting or ghosts, so I'm just gonna have to do it myself. I'm sure there's someone out there who could, but I couldn't find them in time. Unfortunately, most of my contacts are all about tactical or that kind of stuff, and no one's really about, you know, chasing ghosts like I used to do, so maybe next time. Maybe next time. But yeah, so I figured, it's, you know, for me it's a fun topic to talk about ghosts and spirits and that kind of stuff, because I was raised in a very Christian household, both mother and father's side. I remember they split when I was really young, and both tried the whole religious thing with me, and unfortunately for them it didn't take. But it did get me kind of wondering, because, you know, those of us who are raised Christian are taught that when you die, you go to heaven or hell, and that's all you got. There are a few more implications with some of the other religions or sects of religions, but it's more or less, you know, this certain thing. You either, you know, you go up or you go down, and it always struck me as odd because it seems too simple. To me as a kid, it always seems so simple that when you die, you go to heaven or hell, and that's it. And I understand that, but as a child, it didn't really sit well with me. So, what really kind of got me rattling off in the other direction of the accepted stuff is when I asked my preacher about, you know, well, if we go to heaven or hell, where do the animals go? And he says they don't go anywhere, which I found really odd, because between me and a dog and anyone else, there's nothing really different. Ooh, that's a Peralto. Hold on. Peralto wants to play Overwatch, but I figured I'd do this real quick and get it over with. But yeah, so I started venturing out and trying to find the truth, the reality of it all. And that got me down the pathway of trying to find an answer. And it took a little while because I couldn't really do much when I was a kid. I just had all these theories I'd work on. And I kind of fell out of light with most churches. I just didn't really understand it or really care anymore because it was all too neat. And one thing I learned even at a young age is that humanity is super messy, and if it's neat, it's probably not even real. And I had my first, because I always go and try and seek these things, and I had my first uncomfortable feeling with the other reality of existence when I was staying at my cousin's house in Illinois. And more or less, at his house, hey Asia, when I'm done here, I'll give you a call and we'll play Overwatch. But at his home in Illinois, he had a home that was for lack of a better word, inhabited. And I was really young and didn't know what to do, but more or less, from what the whole family says, of course, it is purely conjecture. You can call me I'm full of shit, that's fine. But everyone believed that the house was possessed or being inhabited by some kind of benevolent force or demon. And I thought it was bullshit. Like, yeah, sure, whatever, your house has demons in it. And that changed. It changed quickly and in a single night. So I remember I had to pee. Had to pee really, really bad. So I get up. I remember, God, I'm already there again. Down the hallway. This is like a 1970s house. That's the weird, like, arches and stuff in the hallway. And the little walls that made no sense. But the bathroom was down this long hallway. And from his room at the end of the hallway, going all the way down, was the living room. And I know I had to make 3 doors. It was his sister's room, a closet, and the bathroom. And then beyond the bathroom was the parents' room. And I had to make it 3 doors and go to the bathroom. And, Flash, what do you mean? Like, not really, like, the Christian religion is what I'm trying to say. But, I remember everything felt fine. I left his room and I walked down the hallway and I found the bathroom and I did my thing. I peed. And I remember I opened the door and the hallway felt darker. And I can't really explain it. I already got goosebumps, fuck me. But the hallway felt darker than it should have been. And it not that it was darker, but it felt darker. Flash, and understanding me, that's fine. But the hallway felt darker, and I could feel some, it's a feeling that you're being looked at. And it's like being in an elevator, right? And say you're in an elevator, pretend you're standing in front of the doors waiting. And there's someone you can't see in the corner of the elevator looking at you. You know they're there. You can feel them there. You can even hear them there. But when you turn your head, you won't be able to see them. But you can feel the eyeballs burning into the back of your neck. And I remember when I opened the door, the light from this little candle-shaped nightlight thing for the bathroom, normally it shone quite brightly and could penetrate into the hallway. And then normally, I remember when I opened the door, the light was like shining. I could see it all the way down the hallway. And it kind of leads you to the bathroom so you don't get lost. And then when I opened the door, the light couldn't go into the hallway. It's like it just stopped. And I felt this uneasement, this foreboding nature of that I should not leave the bathroom. I remember my mind saying, don't leave the bathroom, stay in the bathroom, close the door, turn the lights on. But in my mind, I was done peeing. So I stepped out onto the carpet of the hallway and I turned to go back to my cousin's room. We share the same name, Thomas. And I turned towards Thomas's room. I remember seeing something standing there. He had a TV just to the left of the door. And we were just playing video games on it. We were playing N64, I think it was. The TV was glowing blue because we had fallen asleep with the movie playing. The TV was blue. And it has blue glow all through the room. I remember stepping out into the hallway, and there was something standing there. It was blocking the light, and I have to fight to remember it because it scared me. It scared me so much that I'm trying to remember what it looked like. But the feeling was more than what it was just darkness. It was blackness when I was staring at it, just this void of light, and it blocked the blue light from the TV, and I could see just past its shoulder my cousin Thomas sleeping. And I never forget the feeling of the weight, just this weight of evil's the wrong term. It was like hostility. It was darkness. It was this encroaching feeling of just pure hatred. And I never remember the wrongness. Like, yeah, and I'll never forget how it felt, just the weight pushing against me. And it was as if it was daring me to move past it. Come on, come try and get past me into the light. And I remember I was so scared of what to do that I said something. I can't remember what I said. But I woke up Thomas's sister, and she opened her door up and turned the light on. And when she did, I remember I looked towards her in her bright room light. And when that happened, I remember the sound of like breaking glass in my ears. That loud, the sound of like the snap of glass, that crystalline shattering. I remember the sound way deep in my ear, and I remember I jumped and I like shouted and looked towards her, and she was like, "Hey, what's wrong?" And when I went to look towards Thomas's room, it was gone. The whole doorway was full of blue. I remember how heavy my chest felt, how like I was out of breath. It was like I've been holding my breath for like an hour and a half. And that's when I first understood that there are things we can't explain. There are things around us, and that's when I began to truly hunt for it. And I remember when I turned 16, I got my first job. I was a waiter at a steakhouse, illegally technically because I couldn't serve alcohol, but I had people run alcohol for me. It was no big deal. And I began to use that money to try and go out and find these weird things, we couldn't explain. And I fell in love with it. To me, it was fun, but at the same time, it changed my outlook on things. And I started small. Everyone starts small when they start quote unquote ghost hunting, and it sounds cringe as fuck when you say ghost hunting, but it's what it is. We're all hunting these things, and I prefer to call it ghost fishing, right? Because you may go fishing, but you won't always catch a fish. You're kind of ghost fishing, trying to go out to the pond and see if what's gonna nibble, what's gonna come and try and say hello to the hook. And that's when it got really, really interesting, because I started with a group, and this was an older group who were some weird motherfuckers, but it's who I had, to go do this stuff with. And I remember like going out to, homes. It was we went to like for fun. We would go to like jails or other kind of thing, or spooky haunted places to see if they're truly haunted. They would get calls from people like, "Hey, I think my house is haunted." And what we would do is we would go out and see if it was or not. We had our little EMF readers, we had witch boards, all that kind of stuff. We would go out and try and see if anything was actually there, and usually they're not. Usually, a lot of my houses haunted are just there's like bad wiring or some shit, or there's like a draft they don't realize is going on, or there's a mouse hole causing, or there's always something else. And I would say that like out of 85% of the times we would go out to a home or a business, there'd be nothing there. It'd just be like, yeah, you got bad wiring. We got EMF readings in the hallway, and sure enough, they would go in and they'd find some kind of thing that was wrong. And I didn't really understand electrician lingo, but every once in a while, we would be at the right pond at the right time with the right bait. And the feeling is indescribable. It's like you're onto something that you know you shouldn't be. And there is just this wrongness. You would call it goosebumps. But for me, it was the feeling of wrongness, the feeling of there is something looking at me that I cannot see, but I know you're there. And it was always something like that. Like we were sitting there at a table or on a couch, and you just wait. You would just wait, and you'd kind of, more or less, you're seeing, does this thing going to come play with me? And I started to get this feeling of what things were. So I began to learn how people would categorize these spirits or these memories. And there's some like repeaters that are simply memories. Something with how we work, something deep down. Sometimes when we die, things get left behind. I can't explain it. I'm not going to try to. But something, some part of the energy that makes us function gets left behind. I couldn't tell you why. And it's the silliest things. Walking up staircases, opening a single cabinet and moving a single mug. These repetitions of old actions. You could call it a shadow jade wall, but I would consider it more of a memory. It's an old pattern of someone who died. And it always be these little bitty innocuous things like footsteps or stairs creaking, all that kind of stuff. And I found these the most fascinating because some part of a human being got left behind, and you would see it, you would catch it, you would be at the right time in the right pond, and you would hear it. You would hear a footstep or a creak of a staircase, and you perk up. You're like, oh, hey, ooh, because you realize, oh, hey, you finally got something, and you would make your way over, and you would sit and you would wait, and it would walk across the second story, or you hear of a cabinet opening up and a single mug being moved to the left, as if he's trying. It was as if the shadow is trying to pick up the mug it always picked up, and get a cup of coffee or a drink. Yeah, so Flash, so Flash, I'll get there, and I would call I've never been to any battlefields, so I can't really speak on that. Flash, we didn't really have any battlefields, but for these I call them memories, or a memory of a person, an old pattern they would always do, and I found them the most unique and cute because you're seeing an old memory, an old action of someone who's died hundreds of years ago, and for some reason, for some odd reason, this whatever that's left behind is still doing it. Is still turning on the water faucet. It's still opening the cabinet. It's still trying to find its favorite mug. And I always found it so cute. And it sounds dumb, but I found it so cute that something behind it's still trying to wash its face. It's still trying to get that morning cup of coffee or tea. It's still walking across from the bedroom to the bathroom to do its daily routine. And I always loved these. It was a memory. But there were ones I didn't like. These are the active things, the things that are not just memories. They are still here, and they are not only here, but they're active and they're doing things. And these are the ones that I hate the most because they are simply something that I can't explain. I truly cannot. I don't know if it's like a whole person left behind or something else entirely. And we would find these almost always in homes or hotels. And I couldn't even tell you why. It's just how it's just how it was. And we always found them first using witch boards. So a Ouija board is basically, a fucking it's the same concept but really dumbed down. It'll still work, but it won't give you the answers you really need. For us, a witch board was basically like a fucking cutting board. It was that thick, but hand burned with different symbols on it. And we have a little receptacle for salt, silver, and a candle. Because for whatever reason, whatever subscription you buy into, these things usually kept away the bad things, whatever those things may be, the things of the moon, whatever that means to you guys. But that's how we kind of found out what was bad, what was good. And I remember, like, it was just this home with this lovely round table, and we're all sitting around it, and we have the witch board out, and we're trying, because we could tell something was there, and we're like, you know what, let's see if we can talk to it, see what happens. And I guess it was offended that we were trying to talk to it, because whatever it was, it whipped a fucking ceramic mug out of the cabinet, and it smashed against my fucking face and cut me. There's a small cut above my eyebrow from that mug. And I remember I was so angry. Not because I was bleeding, but because like this thing could hurt me. It could do things to me, but I couldn't see it. I couldn't touch it. I couldn't do anything back to it. It was immune from my physicality, and that always really upset me. To me, it was never really fair. And I've met quite a few of these things. What the Christians would call them demons, but who knows what they truly actually are. And I met quite a few of them, and I always get that same feeling from the hallway, that hostility, that anger, that with the weight on my chest. And not goosebumps. It feels like goosebumps, but it's completely different. It's like electric coursing through your body. And I could never figure out what they were. But they're not always bad. I have met people who've been scratched by ghosts, or been bitten by ghosts, or their hair pulled by a ghost, whatever have you. But I've met some entities that aren't bad. This always throws you for a loop, right? You always hear about the bad ones. You meet the bad ones, and they're always the most prolific in your mind. But you do meet like neutral entities that just want to talk, or just want to play. The ones that really unnerved me the most, like the bad ones made me angry, right? But the ones that wanted to play always unnerved me. They always scared me the most, because what ties them here? You're coming across the planes of existence to play, to try and do something. Because are you bored? Why are you here? And one of our favorite tools was this baby toy, and it had these little keys on it that were all colored, and we could ask it questions depending on the color of the keys. Like who, if you're from this year, press this year, press the orange key, etc. And sometimes it would make like music and sounds and that kind. It was a fucking baby toy that people buy other parents to make them angry, because the kid always smashes that shit. And I remember like all these things. And some want to call them people, but I don't always think they're people. The ones that are people, because they're usually doing something, or repeating something, or they're talking on a Ouija board and then they leave, or something like that. The ones that wanted to play made no sense to me. When you contact what you presume to be an old human spirit that's lingering for whatever reason, that's not a memory. They'll talk to you on a Ouija board, right? And they'll answer like, "Are you from the 1800s?" Red key, yada yada yada. The ones that just want to play don't answer questions. They don't want to give you answers. They just want to play. They just want to make your EMF reader go up and down. They want to make funny sounds, and they want to show themselves a quick flash in the corner of your eye. They want to make the funny machine make funny noises, and they want to roll the ball across the concrete. They just want to play, and those ones freak me out the most because you don't know their motive. The bad ones, they obviously want to hurt you. They want to hurt you. They want to scare you. They want to make you fear them. And I understand that. It makes complete sense to me. Like, gotcha. You're an asshole. Cool. Why the fuck does an entity want to play with me? Why? They don't tell you their name. They don't tell you where they're from, what they are. They just want to play. They'll make your thermal scans light up. They'll make your EMF reader light up. They'll play with your fucking spirit box, or your scanning radio, as some of you may know it as. They just want to play with you. And while it makes people smile, oh look, he's doing stuff, I always frowned when this happened, because what is it? That's one of the things I could never explain. What is this thing that's playing with us? Why is it doing what it's doing? You know, it's just, I could never understand what it was. You know, you can put a name to the bad ones. You can call it a demon if you want to. And sometimes, if you're unlucky enough, you'll get something like a hostile entity on the witchboard, and it'll tell you everything. It'll tell you it's from the moon, and it'll tell you its name, or it'll tell you it wants to hurt you, yada yada. And you're like, oh, okay, you know what it is. But these other things, they never ever tell you what they are. They don't answer questions. They just play with you, and I never liked it. You know, whether you pretend to be a dead person, they'll tell you the year they're from, they tell you their name, they'll tell you that kind of stuff, and they'll ask questions, and usually there's something here, a traumatic experience or unfinished business. They stick around for a little while and then they go away. But these things that play, in my opinion, they do follow you. They follow you in the same way the quote-unquote demons do, or the hostile entities. They follow you. And where were we? It was some building. Because my head got hurt. I can't remember what it was, but I remember what happened. And we had that keyboard thing with us, and we're getting all set up. It's about 1 a.m. Some thoughts on the internet. Yeah, thanks, frienders. But I remember, like, we just set it down, and it went orange key, and we all stopped because we were all talking. The lights were on. It wasn't dark. It wasn't cold. It was like a warm spring evening, which was odd. But I remember it went orange key. And I was just like, what the fuck was that? And I kind of looked down, like, did you press? Like, no. It went orange key. I remember we all kind of like stepped backwards. I mean, it was like you saw a leper appear in front of you. Like, oh shit! Everyone kind of stepped backwards, and we're looking down at it. And I remember someone asked, "Are you the thing from so and so where?" And it went orange key. And remember, because the last time that this thing we met, this thing, it kept just slamming the orange key down and making different like patterns with it. And we all kind of looked to each other because this is like a state away. This thing should not have been here. And as far as we were aware, nothing had attached to us. Because sometimes these things will attach to somebody and kind of follow them around. And we were like, "What the fuck? What is this thing?" And I remember just orange key. It was just pop. And the thing would like, it would smack the orange key, make it light, well, not smack it, but make it like light up. They don't touch it; they simply activate it somehow. I don't know how. Anyone who says they know how, or it's full of shit. They just do it. Or orange key, because it would light up. It would light up orange. There's a little light under the key, and then like one of the stands would kind of tip over. Never the ones with the cameras. It was oddly considerate. It would knock over an empty camera stand. And we all look over, like, oh shit, and here, orange key. And then like down the hallway, a door shut, or like an EMF reader would light up, boop, 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 and remember, it was just playing with us, and I never liked it. And as far as I'm aware, nothing's ever followed me home. I never had experiences at home. I usually have to go and find these things. Weird things would happen at home that I wouldn't automatically attribute to an entity. Like, say I wake up and a lot of the cabinets are open. I go, oh, it's just a cat. And I would close the cabinets because I wouldn't get the feeling of this something watching me. I would get spooked sometimes, sure, but then I realized, oh, it's just a fucking jacket sleeve. You know, I would get over it. There are certain feelings you would get with these things, and I haven't done it in a long time, and I really want to again. I'm trying to figure out a way to restart some kind of contact line to those who want to, you know, have their shit checked out. But one thing I want to tell you guys that I've noticed is that looking at videos, reading accounts, and spooky late night, you know, Reddit threads, is that things have been slowly, steadily growing. And as to why, I couldn't tell you. Hell, I remember even, you know, in the army, weird shit would happen. I'd be like like alone on staff duty, and like looking out into the darkness at like 3 a.m. and see a thing. I'm like, that's odd. That shouldn't be there. And being out on patrol or being out on, you know, watch somewhere late middle of nowhere, you know, I would get that feeling. I was like, it's probably just nothing. Probably just a raccoon. But the more I read, the more I'm realizing that things have been escalating for some time now. There's more and more of these things showing up, and I really couldn't tell you why. And they're getting more and more aggressive, however you take that. The Bizarre Bub is a YouTube page that's I kind of watch a lot and see like what's fake, what's not. And the more I watch, the more I realize that a lot of these aren't fake. Some of them are fake or being misconstrued as a spooky time, but it's getting more and more frequent. And no, Mando. So when you're in a headquarters building and you have all the lights off, except for the front desk part, and you hear a click, and you look down the hallway, and the kitchen light or the kitchenette light turns on then turns off, and no one's down there, it's probably not a barracks rat. But it's happening more and more, and I kind of want to get out there again and try and see what's cropping up, because every once in a while, I will meet up with a few acquaintances of mine in real life, and we'll pull out a witch board just to see what's rocking and rolling. And usually it was like you'd wait for 4 hours and maybe get one fish on the line. And now it's like 6, 7, 8, 9 fucking fish on the line. It seems like there's always something want to talk or converse. And it's just like, that shouldn't be how it is. It wasn't how it is when I was younger. Usually you pull a witch board and you'd be sitting there for hours just waiting to see if something is going to try and make contact. And now it's like you pull it out, and as soon as you touch the fucking planchette, something wants to fucking come up and chat to you, which is not how it should be. I just don't know. It's you have a Hasbro Ouija board? No, the last witch board I had to break up and burn because what the fuck? There better be a mouse behind me. Very funny life. But I had a witch board, and I had to break it up and bury it in the woods because I'm pretty sure something had stuck to it, and I was like, no. So I was I'd be sitting in the woods and broke it up. Probably need to buy a new one. So some little cheap piece of shit, like from like Third Planet. I don't know, because it's one of those things where so Jade Wall, it's one of those things where if you don't care about the thing or don't believe in it, you're not going to notice things. It's like losing your watch, right? You always have your watch on your wrist, and you don't worry until one day, you're like, where's my watch? And you think you just do the quick scan. Where's my watch at? But when you start And you realize, so you got a new watch. You're trying to, where's my new watch at? And you realize that your old watch has been sitting on a shelf, unmoving for like 4 months. You don't notice certain things until you're actually looking for it. You know, you have to go and not try and find them, but you won't notice it unless you actually like start looking out for the signs. And it sounds super dumb. Like, of course you're gonna find it if you're looking for it. Yeah, I get that. But if you're just like fucking brain to the wind, like, nope, it's just the wind, it's you're not gonna notice the small things that start adding up. Um, like cabinets always open, or your favorite mug always moved around, or weird things on your window and that kind of stuff. You won't notice things until you start going like, that shouldn't be there. When you start paying attention, you'll start seeing the small things, and they'll all start adding up. But I think the human body knows when something is around it. It's why when you got in the woods, you see, you get that spooky feeling because you know something is out there. But you're able to kind of, you know, divide there's a deer staring at me in the woods I can't see, to there is something staring at me, and I'm in a hotel building in a fucking broom closet, and there's something fucking behind me. Um, and I really can't explain it. It's really hard. Um, but like people who go on like the Ghost Hunter hotel, like Ghost Hunter hotel trips and all that, more than likely they're not actually going to see anything, and they're going to kind of play it up like, oh, it's a spooky spirit. You have to go out. You have to go out in some goober's fucking house, and like just places you shouldn't be. And that's when you'll find the things. And what they are, I couldn't tell you. I'm pretty certain that the memories of things is some kind of part of the human, I assume, psyche, because we're more or less giant meat machines being powered by hormones and shit and electric shocks. But something is left behind, and it sticks to things. And as to why that is, I couldn't tell you. And what's really fascinating is like animal spirits. Like I never met one myself. I know some guy. Oh yeah, there's a spirit of a dog. Like why would a dog stick around? What business? What ulterior business does a dog have? He thinks unfinished. But there's never a nice story or a kind story to these memories or these lingering spirits. There's always something horrible or tragic or scarring or trouble that makes a person stick when they die. Why that is, I couldn't tell you. There's rarely ever like a happy spirit. There's usually some kind of conflict, like there's something I gotta do, and it bothers them so much that they stick around. I couldn't tell you. But I mean, there are hot spots, like Al Swift said. Mental hospitals will be rife with that shit if they don't find peace on their own. You go to like mental hospitals, prisons, that kind of shit, if you really want to, and you're more likely to catch something. But at that point, the issue with mental hospitals and prisons and that kind of thing is that you're so keyed up because oh, it's a mental hospital, fuck yeah, and you're so keyed up to be there. Your mind's gonna make things pop up, like, oh, that door, oh, nursing homes, Jade Wall. So I'll touch on that actually. While working armed security, I would get parceled out to nursing homes, to patrol and all that fun stuff. And I do not like nursing homes. Nursing homes are sad. They're places of abandonment. Truly, I mean, not all nursing homes, but most nursing homes are places where people go to die and be abandoned. That is the horrible truth of what they are. And some of my spookiest moments have been in nursing homes. Like the spookiest ones recently, not the past, but most recent ones were nursing homes. When you're walking around and you feel just the weight of desperation and sadness and ennui. You can feel it on your skin. When you're attuned to that kind of shit, that's cringe as that word is, you can pick up on things. and you'll hear more and see more, and you'll see these little fucking shadows a lot more in nursing homes. And I remember one of the visits I had to a nursing home near a Corneo sand plant. I'm pretty certain here in Wichita. Uh, like I thought I was chasing somebody. Like I thought I was chasing an intruder because I could hear it running. I could hear doors slamming open. I could hear chairs in the little dining room skittering about. And I ran after this fucking thing for a while. And I didn't realize that I was being played with until like 20 minutes in. Like I was running through and trying to find this guy because I thought he would like someone. I thought someone had broken in and started trying to steal something. A fire hydrant. Who the fuck knows? It's a fucking nursing home, And yeah, that one caught me off guard because I had my gun out, running after it, and I realized, fuck, there is something playing with me, and or something just being a fucking dickhead because I realized I'm chasing a fucking ghost because like. Because you kind of catch on like, oh shit, and it kind of put the gun away, and I kind of just backed to the nursing home, called like, hey, there's something going on here. I need backup, someone to come in with me. I did not mag dump a ghost, but I was like, fuck, I know this feeling, and I was like, it's just something fucking playing with me. And what would hang out in a nursing home, I couldn't tell you. You would think you would think I would have seen more like sad memory ghost of anything, but I never did. I simply had this horrifying feeling all around me. And as for terminal care rest homes, those are completely different. That's full of human beings who know they're going to die. And I've never heard of any like hospice homes having ghosts. And I think it's because those going into a hospice home understand they're going to die. Those at hospital home understand that there is no getting out of this. Their cash has been checked, and now it's got to wait for the fucking bank to settle it. And I personally have not heard of a single hospice home. Nursing homes, yes. A hospice home, I never heard of one being haunted. Maybe a few memories here and there, but for as I'm aware of, the human beings going to a hospice home are aware that death is coming. And I assume they make some kind of peace with it or something. But besides ghosts, I've had creepy things happen in the army all the time, like being out in the woods. I remember this one time. It was during basic training, actually, in Missouri. It was my watch, and it was snowing. And it was me and some other fucking goofball. I think it was Private Almond. And would you quit fucking creaking? Whatever the hell you are back there, stop it. You're not funny. Probably styrofoam be moving around. Stop it. But it was snowing. I remember how quiet it was. That's probably the coolest thing is how quiet it was. And man, like it was so quiet. And we're sitting under a big humming, I think it was like a generator, some kind, had a light on it. I remember behind us, I could hear the drill sergeants in their tent, kind of chatting and staying up. I remember looking out over this whole, we're in like kind of like a forest rise, looking out over all these little bitty pup tents everywhere, just kind of staring out and watching the snow fall. And I remember like I felt like this weird feeling. I was like, that's weird. Like I shouldn't be feeling this out here. It's odd. I remember Almond was like, I think Almond froze up. He was watching something. I was like, Almond, what's up? Because snow's drifting down, and that weird sound that snow makes on the ground. I remember hearing a crunch. I remember I kind of followed where Almond was looking. It was off to the left, way left of the pup tents, and I remember how loud the snow crunch of the snow crunching down. I remember I kind of followed his gaze. And I remember seeing something. I'm not going to call it a skinwalker or some other bullshit. I remember the shape, like, moving across the back end of this clearing where all of our tents were, and just crunch, 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 crunch. And I was like, "Hey, Owen, is that a drill sergeant?" You know, because I thought maybe being a drill sergeant trying to go around and punk a private or drag around their tent, be fun with it, you know, because thing that drill sergeants do. And we're watching this whatever it was kind of walk along and lumber along the back part of the tents, crunch, 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 crunch through the snow. And I remember Almond was like froze up because we had like Missouri Mando, Fort Leonard Wood. I remember Almond was like clutching this BFA'd M4. We had like blanks, you know, and like he's clutching this fucking rifle. And I was like, "Hey, Almond, are you okay?" And he goes, "That is." And I was like, "What the fuck you talking about, man? It's fucking the goddamn drill sergeant. The fuck you talking about?" I remember he just ran. He ran back away from the little light generator thing towards the drill sergeant tent. And I was like, "What the fuck? It's a drill sergeant." I remember I turn around and this shape, whatever it was, I remember like it like lurched upwards and then like just crunch, 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 crunch. And like it went away. And I was like, "What the fuck is that?" You know? Like, oh, he must have spooked a drill sergeant. That's funny. And I'm kind of like laughing to myself. I remember how my breath fogged up when I laughed myself, you know, as the snow was coming down. And and then all the drill sergeants came out of the tent, and all the drill sergeants were accounted for. I remember this feeling of like dread, like what? I was like, "What do you like?" This feeling washed over me. I was like, "What the fuck do you mean they're all here?" Like all I think it was 6 of them were all there. Like they're like, "What'd you guys see?" And I was like, "I thought it was you guys over there." You know, I remember just feeling like, "Oh shit," you know, because and same time maybe another private or whatever. You know, maybe someone, you know, maybe someone like going out to, you know, take a pee, or, you know, the usual like nighttime I got to piss activity, crunch, 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 piss, you know. And I remember like the drill sergeants were running out because all the drill sergeants had pistols on a drop leg holster in case someone got, you know, spirited out on the FTX. And they ran through the pup tents, you know, and they're kind of running over to where Almond was pointing with his fucking shaking hand. And yeah, they ran over there and they didn't see anything. They could see where like there were like boot prints in the snow. They said they're boot prints. And they remember they said that a lot of the pup tents were kind of pulled open, you know, like, you know, because usually you pull your pup tent down, you kind of pull on some string to kind of keep it tight so the wind can't get in as easily. I remember they said, "Oh, there's like fucking 10 tents undone, blah, 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 blah." And I was like, "What the fuck are you guys talking about? It's just some private taking a pee." But that's whatever. Let's see what Sopralto's doing. Do. Still playing, question mark? But yeah, so I want to try and get back into, you know, hunting these wherever the hell they are, because that was really fun. Overall, it was fun. Just kind of doing that stuff. It was fun going out and trying to find these things you always hear about. A lot of the time, you're gonna be bored. You know, there's gonna be nothing there. You're gonna feel silly, like, "Oh, what am I doing with my life? You know, I could have been asleep right now. It's fucking 4 a.m. What the fuck? My coffee's cold." But it's all worth that one fish. You know, part of fishing. Sebastian, thank you for subscribing. Some of the fun is, you know, like fishing. Going out and fishing, the most fun part about fishing, besides getting drunk, is having that fish you land. Like, "Oh god, I finally caught a bass. This is awesome." Same with ghost hunting. You think, "This is boring. I could be asleep. I could be, you know, doing something else." And when you finally land that bass in your lap, you realize just like a whole new world has been opened up to your mind. And it really is truly a hard thing to describe. You know. Yeah. I know, Yerland. I know. Do you think there are creatures that linger in the woods of America? I think there are things in the woods. I wouldn't call them creatures. I think there are certain things in the woods. Like, I don't believe in Bigfoot. I simply don't. I would believe that something is in the woods making a racket, though. Like, there are just certain things you can't describe. There truly aren't. They're just things that happen. You're like, what the fuck? And there's no way to just describe it. It's just like you're like, what is that? And after a while, and you start like going through history and reading things, you just kind of figure out that there's some things that just shouldn't be. There are certain things in certain places that shouldn't be there, and sometimes you just know they're not human. This is this isn't a memory. This isn't a repeating memory of a long dead person. There's just some things that are simply there. And as what they are, I couldn't tell you. Anyone who says, yes, I know what these things are, they are lying to you. No one knows what these things are. I mean, hell, the only ones I believe they're actually human or were human were the memory ones. The footsteps, the turning of a faucet, the rattle of a mug, these human things that were done by humans. These other things that want to play or scare us or hunt us and make us, as a child, yell in a hallway, make us feel dread. I don't know what they are. You can put a name to them. You can call them demons if you really want to. If it makes you feel any better, but that's not what they are. It's not. It's not what they may truly be. It's something else entirely. And true to form, though, from October to about November, you will have more activity. As to why that is, I couldn't tell you. I really couldn't. It just simply is a thing that is. You'll have more ookie spookies in the fall than you will in the spring or the summer. Why? Who knows? There truly is no telling, honestly. If you guys have any questions, go ahead and put in chat. I'll try and answer the best I can. But they are simply things, and those of you here like LOL skinwalkers. Yeah, we can all have fun and laugh about it, but there are things. I have met these things. These things have hurt me with a fucking. These things have cut my flesh with a mug. Like these things are out there. What they are, I can't tell you. What they may be, I can't tell you. But they are there. And you can find them. You really, really can. And it's one of those things. Nighttime, daytime, it don't matter. It doesn't matter. They're always around you. It's one thing I've always taken to heart. It's not about nighttime or the AM. They're always here. I've met them. I've heard them. I'm pretty sure I've seen them. And you'll have people tell you, oh, it's got to be at nighttime, in the AM. No, that's not it. That's basically heightening or throwing out, some pellets into the pond so the fish come in faster. They are all around you, all the time. You can't see them. You can hear them. You can smell them even sometimes, but they're always there. And if you had any sense in your head, you would simply just put them out of your mind. You would walk out and say, I don't believe in ghosts, or I don't believe in spirits. And you would call it there. Go about your life. But once you open up your receptacle to that shit, man, it's just there's no calm time when you're alone. Like There's reason why. There are many reasons why I don't like being alone. That's one of them. I like having someone around me. It's why you don't ghost hunt alone. It's why you don't witch board or Ouija board alone. I don't know. My college campus paved over a Native American burial ground to make the commuter parking lot, the one I park in. I somehow got on their bad side, lost my knife in that parking lot, and haven't been able to get a good spot in a long time. Also, there is a ghost bear that appears from there and harasses the dorms. Ghost bear. Interesting. I feel like I should be smoking something for this, just to have a heart attack. Yeah. Call them what you want. They don't see to stick around when I start repeating Christian prayers. That's because of what the power you put or the suggestion you put into it. So there is a theory about prayer, because there's not only Christian prayer gets rid of spirits. There's every religion has a prayer against ghosts. It's the inflection and the feeling you put into that gives you conviction that emotes towards whatever it is to leave you the fuck alone. You can just yell, "Leave me the fuck alone!" at whatever it is. I've done that. I've actually done that. You yell, "Leave me the fuck alone!" I don't want to play with you right now. And like, as long as you, like, yeah, put your will into like, "Leave me alone," and put your will into it, whether it's in a prayer or you just fucking yelling curses, it usually works. The problem is that when it doesn't work, that's when things get truly interesting. It's usually when you back up and just retreat, because if something's able to like ignore your will you're putting into things, it's time to fucking pop smoke and just call it quits, because you don't want any part of that. I'll say that right now. But yeah, that's one thing I never understood. Well, I guess I do understand, is that most folks think that if I need to need a cleanse the area, you call a Catholic priest, or you call a priest, or you do. The Christians seem to think that, oh, I have the best scripture, but look at like Japanese lore of how they keep out ghosts and spirits. Not all of them are Christians, obviously. It's all about the force of will and the emotion and conviction you put behind whatever it is you're saying. Because there've been times where look through like spooky history where priests have not been able to cleanse an area, because it's for whatever reason I couldn't even tell you, but it's what it is. That's why you get a place. Why you always get a priest to bless and salt the place. Yeah. Like the meme of the ghost hunter young eat my ass spirits. Well, you laugh, Slap, but it's one of those things that you guys can eat my fucking ass. Leave me alone. You can do that. As long as you have conviction in it, you'll still push them out. Let's see here. Octavian. So anyway, I started blasting. Guard performs atheist exorcisms. Get the fuck out of here, ghost. They don't want you here. Leave. I mean, that can't actually work if you're really strong-willed. What I hear, anyway. What encounter scared the shit out of you so bad you popped smoke and fucked out? That was the only time I tried to go hunting alone. I had a feeling that one building that I would drive back and forth. I bet that thing's got something in it. I had my EMF reader I borrowed from the group, and a thermal camera, and then I had a recorder on me. And I remember like it was 2 a.m. or around that. I had just gotten off my shift at the steakhouse, and I thought, you know what? Better now than never. It's a Friday. I ain't got school tomorrow. Let's fucking do it. Let's get in there. And I don't know what the building was. I'm pretty sure it was a burial preparation place of some kind. So if you live in Tulsa, I think it's on. In Tulsa, there's that giant fucking cemetery. And then there's a big stone building kind of by the road. I broke into the graveyard and went to that because I had this feeling that there had to be something in there that I want to go poke at. And I was like, you know what? I got all this shit. I'll just go do it. I remember I kind of slipped through into the big graveyard and walking along. I actually don't mind graveyards. Graveyards are quite fun in my opinion. But the big stone building, it was 2 a.m. You know, you can hear like very light traffic. You know, the cars going by. And for some reason, so it wasn't a funeral home. It was just this building there. It hasn't been used in forever. And I remember like it was locked all the way around. But when I jerked on one of the locks, it just came open. I guess he hadn't fully secured it for a reason. So I'm like, okay, fuck it, you know, B&E, let's do this. You know, ghost hunting B&E. So I go in, pitch fucking black, couldn't see shit. I couldn't find a light switch. So I pulled up in my fucking cell phone. Well, and it was like the early, you know, the early phones that had a flashlight. What the fuck was it? It would use the flash for the camera as a light. It was like the newer things. Oh, what the fuck was the model? Anyway, so it had a thing where I click a button, it would turn on the flash for the camera as a light. And I'm walking along, and is that a Nokia? And it's a long hallway kind of thing. And I'm walking down. I'm pulling out my EMF reader and turning it on. Turn on the thermal camera, and I'm kind of walking along. I'm trying to turn my recorder on. Yeah, I know, Mando, I know. And I remember like something fell over, clack. I remember I stopped, I jerked up, I jerked the light up. I remember like it's like a weird bench thing there. And it could not have been a better spooky setting. You know, the moon was bright out. It's got these like, I think they're stained glass windows or colored windows. So moonlight is pouring in through the windows into this building. I remember a car with its brights turned on like an asshole drove by and it illuminated this place up. And there was quit creaking your fucking room. Stop it. Not funny. And something was there. It was kind of crouched down behind this weird pew bench thing. I think it was like, say, let's toss it in there for storage or something. I remember this thing just looked towards me, and you know how people will kind of twist their heads. You can follow the motion of the head as it comes around. This thing looked at me. I remember I froze. I remember I went fuck, and when I said fuck, the EMF just lit up all the way out, and my thermal camera just read it out. Like the whole screen. I looked at the screen, it was just red, and the car had moved past, and the moonlight was shining in, and this thing stood. This shadow just stood, and it was so tall. It was so tall. Like, I remember it just stood, and it looked towards me, and it was just so tall. And then like I remember it moved towards me, and I heard that fucking thing move. Like it like bumped into the like little pew desk thing and went brrr, and like it groaned, and the echo and the groan echoed around the building. And the fact it moved towards me really unnerved me. I remember I yelled out fuck really loudly, and I heard something. It like spoke. I remember that it hurt my ears. That's when I popped smoke. It spoke. It hurt my ears as if someone had yelled into them really loudly. And I threw the EMF reader at it in fear, and I just ran. Like, I just, I just ran. Like, I ran out of that building, and I just, I'm sure that those of us who have had like a fear run where you are running so fast that it's like it's a run fueled by fear. It's an odd feeling, but it's a I am scared run where you're pumping your arms really high and you're just fucking digging in. I remember I was like hurtling over gravestones and shit. And what didn't help was that as I was running, I was clutching my phone so hard that the light hadn't turned off, and it was like flashing up and down, up and down. I remember I looked over my shoulder as I'm running, and I saw that thing lean out the door, and I just I kind of started crying. Not gonna lie, I don't know why I did it. I'm not really a crier, but I started crying because I was that scared. I was so scared. And this is after I hit with a mug. Like I shouldn't have been that scared, but I was so scared that I started crying as I ran because I thought that thing was gonna get me. Like I was so sure that was it. Like I had done the big I'd done the big no. I went on my own, and now I'm like fuck. I'm gonna die in that graveyard. Like my mind said, "You idiot! You're gonna die in a fucking graveyard, and no one's gonna know." I remember like I hurdled that fucking fence. The so in Tulsa along there's like a quick trip there now. I think there's that little corner of the graveyard there, and it's got these really tall, spiky fences. This did when I was there. I remember I jumped on some poor old boy's tombstone and just hurtled my ass over that fence, and I slammed, boom! I slammed down so hard onto my body that I broke the recorder, and I almost broke the thermal camera, which were so expensive back then. Like those things were so expensive back then. You guys have no idea that I came down so hard that I broke the recorder, I broke the screen on my phone, and I almost broke the thermal camera. I remember just kind of sitting there just shaking. And just the fear, just the absolute fear of the fear that I was about to die. Like I never felt this feeling around any other time I was ghost hunting. There was never any, oh my god, I'm gonna die. Like it was like, oh, I'm so scared. It's a spooky kind of thing, but I had never felt like I was going to die. I felt as if that thing touched me, I was going to die, and that was it. There was no getting out of it. And I remember when I was sitting there lying on the sidewalk, there was a dandelion in front of my face coming through the crack of the sidewalk. And I remember rolling over as pieces of plastic of the recorder fell out of my pocket, looking up into that bright, bright moon and just feeling fear. And I still get goosebumps when I go back to Tulsa for a visit and I drive by that fucking graveyard. I still remember that. I remember I can still. It sounds stupid. I don't look at that building because I'm so scared. Even now, I am so scared of looking of the chance of looking at that building and seeing whatever was looking back at me. It's so stupid. But I like literally, if I'm driving by, I will eyes ahead and won't even look at that graveyard because I just remembered like I am going to die. You're going to die in a graveyard, you idiot. I remember that, and just No, 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 Yerlin. So I had to buy him a new EMF reader. They're like, bro, what happened? Because I remember I was so shook when I called them. They thought I got mugged. But when I told them, they're like, "Hey man, it's it's fine, it's fine. Just go buy a new EMF reader, and it's fine. It's okay." And they're really understanding. But I mean, they called me a fucking fool for for doing it, but they're really actually understanding. And I never got the EMF reader back, and so I had to buy him a new EMF reader and a new recorder, a new digital recorder. And I got yelled at for breaking the cell phone by my mom. I told her because I never told her what I was doing late at night. I just simply told her I dropped it. She called me a stupid fuck. I got an upgrade later on, but I just remember the feeling of I am going to die. I never gotten that feeling before, like with the group. Even with like the really spooky bad things where we knew this is a bad mama jamma in this area. I never felt like I was going to die like that. But I remember like just being propelled by fear, running with fear, just running as fast as I could, trying to avoid tripping over the little gravestones, not the headstone, but the little like squares in the ground, like just running pell mell. Just fear. I'll never forget the feeling of fear. The feeling of the feeling of I have cooked it and now I'm gonna die in a graveyard. I mean, it was so. It lives with me. I think the feeling of that and that first hostile being in my cousin's home, those two really stick with me because they felt the most, I don't know, tangible. Like, this thing is going to hurt me. Like, this, whatever it is gonna fuck me up. And I can't let it touch me. You know, and I was saved by the sister the first time, and I guess saved by running fast. I don't know. It could have caught me though. It moved towards me so fast. God, I remember how fast it was. That thing could have caught me. I was running. But who knows? Who knows? Yeah, man, no, probably. Still holding on to the old EMF reader. Like, he's gonna come back here one of these days. What was your favorite encounter you had with a friend? Um, I think my favorite was when that thing threw a mug at me. Like, it sounds dumb that that'd be my favorite, but like, we're all sitting there around this little round table with us, you know, doing our thing, and this thing just flings a fucking mug right in my face, and it shatters. Like, what the fuck, you know? And the lady was like, "Oh my god, I can't. I'm so sorry." And I remember because we were all laughing, and when we all laughed, it really upset whatever it was. It started doing other goofy shit. But I remember like it's probably my favorite because it was like it threw a mug at me. Like, it's one of those you don't expect it, like you expect like maybe it'll scratch you or like throw a chair around. You don't expect it to throw a mug at you. And in fact, it hit me and cut me. Like, I was like, I'm bleeding. That motherfucker threw a mug at me. I remember it was such a funny moment. I mean, I should have been scared of my fucking mind, but I was like, it threw a mug at me. You know, it was just, you know, that should be the one that scares me the most, right? You think that they're the one that would scare me the most because it threw a thing at me, but it's honestly the funniest. Like, this guy threw a fucking mug at me. How rude, you know? That's probably my favorite because that and no one ever believes it. Like, they didn't throw a mug at you. You're full of shit. I'm like, and you know, it is what it is. Like, I know what happened, but people never believe it because it sounds so stupid. Because it is stupid. It threw a fucking mug at me. You know what I mean? Are you for fucking real? Yeah, kind of. Yeah. Well, thing is, Mando, I don't think a blade would help. Maybe a silver blade would help. Like, silver. Because for some reason, silver works. As the why, don't know. It's kind of like those things where you find out what berry's poisonous by the other guy eating it, and then like they figured out that silver keeps the silver thing keeps the spookies away. Silver. It's one thing that kind of stuck around through time. I don't know. Couldn't tell you. Throws mug. Yeah, I was like, really? Because usually, they'll like rattle something or knock something over or pull on someone's hair or some shit. But the fact that it's through a mug, I was like, fucking. The fact that through a mug means that it was a really powerful whatever. I mean, obviously, it could take something and throw it with force. And that should be the scariest one. Like, this thing had enough, you know, like the fucking chutzpah, the fucking grab a mug and throw it. Like, like, that's bad. Like, the fact they could pick something up and throw it at you. And I was like, what the fuck? And it should have been scariest of all, but it's just funny because of the fact it threw a fucking coffee mug at me. I don't know. I couldn't tell you. Oh, goodness. Yeah. As a shame I couldn't find anyone else to talk Ghost about. I'll put up on Twitter and no fish came to the pond. So maybe next time. But I really do want to try and get back out there again. Try and see what's mucking about in the dark. It's been so long. It throws mugs, you throw hands. Well, more or less, all you can do is yell at ghosts. Like, you want to throw hands, you can't. All you can do is just yell at ghosts. That's all you can do is yell at them. I don't know why it is that we can't really, they can touch you, you can't touch them, but you can definitely yell at them. You know what I mean? You can definitely yell at them. And that works whether you're saying a prayer or trying to exercise them with faith or just yelling angrily at them. It works more or less. All right. Any other questions? Pretty tired. Hey, you fucking fuck. Best thing to say. I see, Jadewell. I see. Well, I was hoping I would find other hunters. Like, I was like ping like ghost hunters on Twitter, but no one came. Big sads. Tell me to call the Spanish Inquisition. Yeah. Yeah. All right, now time to go. Okay, so most ghost hunter shows are full of fucking shit. Because a lot of people hype up dumb shit. Those hype up like, oh my god, we heard a pipe creak. But there are ones who will catch things. And I think if you guys watched Bizarre Bub, you'll see a lot more. There are a lot of things on the Bub. You're like, okay, sure, whatever, okay. But there are a lot of things on Bizarre Bub that are like, that's not normal. So I would say go on Bizarre Bub and check it out. But most Ghost Adventure shit is all full of crap. It's all bullshit. But sometimes the good ones will catch certain things, and you'll be like, ooh, that shouldn't be there. Like, actually, we'll go ahead and do a little watch along here. We'll put me down here. Come here, me. Do. No, me. Thank you. No, me. Thank you. There I am. Let's go down here. And let's pull up a browser source or I know what to do here. Do this. Come out, please. Window capture. Add source. A new source, please. Add source. Make this the Firefox. Nope, the other one, please. There we go. Okay. Oop, that's over my face. Can't hide the merchandise. So I want to show you guys Bizarre Bub, because I like Bizarre Bub because it does catch the real stuff, you know. Doo-doo. Doo-doo. Ba-ba-ba-ba. Let's see here. Yeah, let's see here. I think it was this one.
A mother and her baby are alone at home when something very unsettling is caught on camera.
I think it was on one of these.
This is what they caught. All of a sudden, it was.
There was one where they're on a couch.
Shit.
Let's see here. Might be that one.
During a live stream on YouTube, something pretty creepy was caught on camera. The two people in this video are a mother and her son who were shooting the video they took.
I'm trying to find the one. A lot of times, it's supposed getting spooked,
It was
or
just the
it's
two of them there, but that's not
reflections off the
This
camera. It's hard to find the real
had
things.
caught video of something paranormal.
No, where is it? It was such a good one.
A home security camera shows a couple sleeping inside their bedroom when something extremely creepy happens. On June 19 of 2022, user Chubby Gooby and her husband had caught footage of something that, according to them, words cannot explain. Chubby writes, "I feel incredibly
Yes, here we go. So you'll find the real things amongst all the bullshit, and you find it. I believe their door opens here. So the shit will always happen where, if it's really slow, the things you want to see are things that happen slowly. You know, they always, kind of gingerly lay it open every once in a while. So things should happen slowly. Like this door right here, it opens up slowly. And then just kind of slowly shuts back. And I believe this thing starts moving around too. I think it's like it's like a little trash can thing.
I was fully asleep at this point, and I was trying to wake up.
Other keys. Things happen slowly, unless it's being a mug thrown at you. They happen with, it should be very, very like uneven. When things move, they should skitter. They should move unevenly. Like, see what? There we go. So if things are,
We were both half asleep at this
really
point, and
moved, like you see here, it's a big burst. It's one of those things where it sounds dumb, but some things want a reaction out of you, and some things will get impatient. Like, it sounds dumb, but like, I'm opening the door, I'm moving the bin, wake up, and things should start out slowly, and every once in a while you get like a big burst of stuff when they get impatient, because they want that.
we were both half asleep.
It's why I have a theory that, I swear, like they want emotion, they want energy out of you, and I can't quite put it into
At this
correct
point,
words.
and I don't really remember what happened exactly. I just heard a sound.
behind it.
A few
The video has made them feel even more These two videos are different.
I hate low light shit. Ugh. Super spooky.
Strangely, the handle on the other side of the door,
Here we go.
although it isn't sure if that's the
So,
Strangely,
this kind
the
of shit.
handle on the other side of the door is being turned as though someone inside were doing this. But, as shown in the video, no one is in there. An encounter like this would definitely spook anyone by a draft video that seemingly dispels this notion. On July 11 of 2009, Jerry's recording his son when all of a sudden, something really creepy happens. Take a look.
It's usually like hotspots, like one key location that shit always happens in. Now, what's odd is that people say, oh, you gotta be really dark and spooky. This is, all the lights are on. It's nighttime, but all lights are on. The room's inhabited as a child, you know. It's not, the ambiance isn't set. Mm-hmm. So, it's not 3 a.m. There aren't cameras around. There's no darkness. There's no spooky mood setting. It's just that.
The same closet later, he grabbed his total at a super had broken into a property that something terrible occurred.
And in Japan, it's full
It was
of this
after
stuff.
their disappearance, however,
Right.
that a family member shared surveillance footage from inside the couple's
Now,
house.
there's one where
This footage was taken from the couple's security
pulls
cameras,
on her
and it
hair.
shows
That's what
things
I'm
that
trying to
occurred
find.
before they went.
So, tiny things like if you're sitting at home and your blinds are like moving back and forth, it's just air. Again, this is in full daytime. It's not nighttime. The lights aren't off. The ambiance isn't set. You know, no mood lighting for the appearances. This is in daytime,
I think that was the event.
and that movement's normal for
That wasn't
blinds.
like what it
That always
did before.
happens. But there are things which are definitely not part of it. Let's see. Yeah.
Holy.
It's just, you know, that stuff. That's what it is. Anywho, I'm gonna go ahead and head to bed. Yeah. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and head to bed. Friday's game beyond the usual time. And thanks for hanging out. Sebastian, thank you for following, and Blah Boy, thank you for giving a sub to JB. And I will see you guys later. So take care and just be mindful of what lurks around us. Take care.